the report of the Liaison Committee on the activity and operations of the select committees during the third session of 2024, pursuant to Standing Orders number 224, subsection 2, and that report was laid on the table of the Senate on the 28th day of May. There is yet another motion where the Senator Veronica Maina is seeking to have the Senate note the report of the parliamentary delegation to the 2024 Joint United Nations Interparliamentary Union parliamentary hearings that were held at the United Nations headquarters in New York. This is a motion on these parliamentary hearings that were held in the US on the 8th to the 9th of February 2024. Senator Veronica Maina, who was the leader of the Kenyan delegation, and she'll be seeking to have the House note the proceedings from that hearing. The report of the proceedings of the parliamentarians' dialogue at the Africa Climate Summit that was held on the 23rd in the National Assembly chambers in Nairobi, Parliament buildings, between the 3rd to the 6th day of September 2023, is also lined up for consideration this afternoon, this morning. Seemingly, my day is moving quite quickly. It is exactly 9:43 a.m. The Senator for Homa Bay, Senator Moses Kajwang, will be seeking to have the Senate note the report of the proceedings of parliamentarians' dialogue at the Africa Climate Summit of 2023 that was held at the National Assembly Parliament buildings between the 3rd to the 8th to the 6th day of September 2023. That report was laid on the table of the Senate on the 2nd day of October 2024. The whip is out of the chamber on his way to rally senators to make their way into the chamber this morning to raise that pertinent number required to have the quorum of the House. I want to believe that quorum has been achieved, so kindly allow me to hand you over back to the live proceedings of the chamber.
We will order Senator Newton. Clerk, you may proceed to call the first order. Senator Mundigi, be orderly.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion.
The Chairperson Select Committee on Delegated Legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to give notice to the motion of extension of time, the Environmental Management and Coordination Strategic and Integrated Environmental Assessment and Environmental Audits, number 2, Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 71 of 2025. That aware that the Environmental Management and Coordination Strategic and Integrated Environmental Assessment and Environmental Audits number 2, Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 71 of 2025, were tabled in the Senate on Wednesday, 9th April 2025, and referred to the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation for consideration pursuant to Section 12(1) of the Statutory Instruments Act, cognizant that the committee is required to make a report within 28 sitting days after the date of referral of the instrument by the Senate, pursuant to Section 15(2) of Statutory Instruments Act, which lapsed on Thursday, 17th July 2025, aware that Section 15(3) of the Statutory Instruments Act provides that by a resolution, Parliament may extend the time for consideration of a statutory instrument by a period not exceeding 21 days, noting that the committee is in receipt of concerns by the public on the imposition of exorbitant fees and justified and punitive fee increments through the said regulations, thus compelling the committee to further interrogate the issues. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves to extend the timeline for the consideration of environmental management and coordination, strategic and integrated environmental assessment and environmental audits, number 2, Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 71 of 2025, for a further 21 days pursuant to Section 15(3) of the Statutory Instruments Act, to enable the committee consider objections raised by the public and make its resolutions on or before 7th of August 2025. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Now, honorable senators, we have 11 questions that are due for response this morning. We have 2 CSs. We will start with the CS in charge of water, who has 2 questions. That is question number 63 and question number 96. Now, we need to agree on how we are going to prosecute that business. We only have up to 1 p.m. to get the response and interrogate the responses from the 2 CSs. And therefore, I will be allocating time to each of these questions. So each question will be given a maximum of 15 minutes. So after the expiry of 15 minutes, we will move to the next question so that we cover all the 11 questions. I'm informed that the CS in charge of water is already in the chamber. Clerk, can you confirm that? Thank you. Honorable CS, welcome to the Senate once again. We will straight away move to question number 63 by the Honorable Senator for Kitui County, who I'm told is not present. However, he had delegated Senator Wafula to ask this question on his behalf. You may proceed, Honorable Senator.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity and to welcome our good minister here. I want to go straight to the question that has been presented here, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the Senator for Kitui, Honorable Enoch Wambua, to ask the Cabinet Secretary for Water and Sanitation, question number 1. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide an update on the status of the solarization plan for the Wakituki Irrigation Scheme project as well as the reasons for any delays or challenges encountered during its implementation. B, what is the current status of the fencing plan for the initial 500 acres of land under the Wakituki irrigation scheme, and could the Cabinet Secretary explain the reasons behind any delays in completing the fencing? C, could the Cabinet Secretary elaborate on the overall progress of the Wakituki irrigation scheme and outline the specific measures being taken to ensure the project becomes fully operational without any further delay? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Now, Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond. However, your written response has been circulated to all honorable senators, and therefore you need not read verbatim. To save on time, you may just highlight the response that you've already filed. You may proceed.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity, Honorable Speaker, to address the House. And the question on Wakituki irrigation scheme is, the responses are on page 5 of the circulation. And just a brief background, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, is that Wakituki irrigation scheme is in Seikuru, that is in Mwingi North constituency, Kitui County, and it was a project that was done in the year 2013 to 2017. The scheme was meant to cover approximately 1,000 acres, and the first 500 acres were completed, and there is mango farming in the 500 acres. The remaining 500 had suffered issues with power, but this was resolved by installation of transformers. Honorable Speaker, the main challenge here was the power bill. That is the O&M, operations and maintenance. And the bills were high because this was a pumping scheme. But NIA and working hand in hand with REREC have developed a concept note to solarize the irrigation scheme, and this partnership has done preliminary designs that will cost approximately 400 million to implement. The concept note, Honorable Speaker, has been submitted to the National Treasury for funding consideration. Honorable Speaker, on the B part of the question, where Honorable member asked about the status of the initial 500 acres of land, we can confirm, Honorable Speaker, that the Wakituki irrigation scheme borders Kora Game Reserve, and this exposes it to human-wildlife conflict that is expected in such kind of scenarios. And to address this, the initial part of the contract allowed fencing of the first 500 acres, which was done, but because of other challenges of these has been vandalized. Some sections of the fence have been vandalized. And the remedy for that, Honorable Speaker, is that in the concept note that has been submitted to Treasury, fencing is part of that concept note. Part C of the question, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, was to elaborate on the overall progress of the scheme and outline the measures being taken to ensure the project becomes fully operational. And Honorable Speaker, the plans to solarize the scheme as a long-term strategy that is aimed at lowering operation and maintenance expenses is on the way once funding is secured. But for long-term sustainability of the project, capacity building efforts are ongoing to empower irrigation water use associations, we call them IWA, to effectively manage and maintain the scheme. And Honorable Speaker, the IWAs have been sensitized, supported, and have submitted an application for registration with the Registrar of Societies. In terms of future, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, I note that the scheme has the potential to irrigate approximately 10,000 acres through a gravity-fed system. However, this hinges heavily on the proposed upstream dam called High Gram Falls Dam, and that is the long-term strategy. Speaker, honorable members, I submit. Thank you.
Honorable Wakoli, do you have any supplementary questions? If yes, you may proceed to ask.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The questions have been answered adequately, and the budget estimates for the solarization process is quite enormous. I would just like our good minister to tell us, in the budget estimates that went through the other day, I don't know if the monies that you have under your ministry will allow you to proceed with a budget of 400 million, because I foresee a scenario where you will spend your office running resources to solarize this dam. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Koli, for the question. As I've indicated in my responses, Honorable Speaker, is that this program was done between 2013 and 2017. And the vandalism that has caused some sections of the fence to be damaged and the high electricity bills because of pumping system has necessitated the ministry through the agency responsible to develop a concept note. This concept note is at the Treasury. I owe it to the Honorable Senator to tell him that the concept note is at Treasury for consideration. So in case we get resources, and I'm hoping we get resources because this is very key, we can start actualizing the program. Thank you.
Senator Seki.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to request the Cabinet Secretary to tell this House, because the Kenya Kwanza administration had a plan to construct 1,000 dams across the country. Could the Cabinet Secretary tell us at least how many dams have been completed so far? Constructed already, completed, installed, or uncompleted. So could the Cabinet Secretary give us at least a number of dams that have been completed as per the Kenya Kwanza administration plan?
Senator Gataya Mwanda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, recently the Honorable Waziri was at my county. He was doing some inspection at a place called Kibunga. There is this water project called Gakimiki Kibunga Water Project. It has been within for quite some time, across almost like 10 years, with very many promises that have not been kept. So, Honorable Waziri, people from Tharaka-Nithi would want to know whether there is any allocation and the timeline on which these projects are likely to be complete, and when people are likely to get water across Kibunga, Marimant, all the way to Marawa. On a rejoinder, Honorable Speaker,
Senator, you asked your question.
It's just the same question, Honorable Speaker.
No.
Allow
the minister to respond. Senator Mungatana.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted the minister to tell us the government policy. When you take land that belongs to the people for irrigation purposes, as you did in this case in Seikuru, and then you take so long to do it, what is the government policy? Don't you have a policy to return? And I'm asking this in respect to the Tana and Athi River Development Authority irrigation scheme, the TDIP. That project we have information that TARDA is no longer going to be doing any work. Can you confirm what the government policy is? All that land you've taken, are you confirming to us that that land now goes back to the people or goes back to the county government? Can you confirm to us what the government policy is? When you take land, you don't do the project, and the land is still remaining in the hands of government. We want to have a clarity of thought, because if that land is not returned, then it becomes subject to land grabbing. I want a clarification on the processes of returning land back to the county or to the people where you've taken that land. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kavindu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I just wanted to get an answer from the CS about when they plan to fence Masinga Dam because of the hippos and crocodiles eating my people there. And when I approached the Wildlife Ministry, they told me this is the work of the Ministry for Water. So if I want to know if he has any plans soon to fence Masinga Dam to protect my people from being affected by the hippos and crocodiles.
Honorable CS, you may now respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The first question was on the plan to do 1,000 dams to completion. And Honorable Speaker, I have to be very candid with yourself and also the House, because water infrastructure is not cheap. It is capital intensive. And when you talk about 1,000 large dams, most of them were scheduled to be implemented under public-private partnerships. And public-private partnerships means a proponent has to invest their money and recoup that money in a stipulated duration of time. Unfortunately, investments in water have not been very lucrative in public-private partnerships because our tariffs are not cost recovery. Specifically, 1 liter of water in the supermarket goes for between 50 shillings and maybe 100 shillings.
Honorable CS, the question was very direct.
Yes.
How many dams have been completed so far? Say either 2, 10, then you move to the next question.
Okay. We have some ongoing, Honorable Speaker, especially the large dams. We have Mwache ongoing, we have Dhwake ongoing, we have Uma ongoing, and these are some of them are suffering from financial challenges. So the answer to that is for large dams, we have not completed any of them. Small dams, I can provide a list, Honorable Speaker, so that I give a conclusive answer. Yes, yes. The question on Kakimiki Water Project. Kakimiki Water Project is meant to serve the areas of Marimanti all the way to in Tharaka constituency. And this project was complete 10 years ago. But the pipelines were on people's property. So the non-revenue water was very high. The program we have now, Honorable Speaker, and this is questioned by Honorable Gataya, is first of all to align the pipelines to public will-leaves, to reduce the non-revenue water. That program is ongoing, and I was there the other week, and we are looking forward to complete it in a year's time. The question by Honorable Mugatana on government policy on acquisition of land. Honorable Mugatana, Tarda is government land. And government land if I understood you correctly, that means it is owed by the government. So I don't foresee the need for compensation. But you asked about the policy. The policy is whenever the ministry acquires land from private parcels of land, we go through the normal process of National Land Commission, where there is evaluation and then there is compensation. That is the government policy. The question by Senator Kavindu, fencing of Masinga Dam. Masinga Dam is under the Ministry of Energy. And it is unfortunate for this. Thank you.
No, honorable senators, the 15 minutes allocated to these questions have lapsed. We will therefore move to the next question. Senator Kavindu, you have just been informed by the CS that Masinga Dam that is the question that has been answered. That Masinga Dam is under the Ministry of Energy. That is the response you've been given. How you treat that response, you know exactly how to go about it. So let us move to question number 96 by the Senator for Embu County, Senator Alexander Mundegi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I, Senator for Embu County, Senator Alexander Mundegi, to ask the Cabinet Secretary for Water, Sanitation and Irrigation. A. What has occasioned the delay in commencement of the construction of Kamomo, Dhosi and Zampana dams in Embu County, and could be the Cabinet Secretary outline the occasions taken by the government to resolve the issues? B. Could the Cabinet Secretary also outline the measures in place to fast-track implementation of these dam construction projects and provide timelines for completion of each dam?
Honorable CS, you may now proceed to respond.
Honorable Speaker, in response to the question by Honorable Mundegi, Kamumu Dam is a zoned high rockfill dam that is 60 meters high, 725 meters long, that will store approximately 22 million cubic liters. This project is expected to cost approximately 6.65 billion Kenya shillings. And the project was developed by Tana Waterworks Development Agency. There was an expression of interest on the same in December 2020 under the financing, under the model of engineering, procurement, construction, and financing. Following the evaluation, the Wilman Group of Belgium was identified as a preferred contractor. However, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, the project could not commence due to the high cost of financing proposed by the contractor. There were issues with land and well leave acquisition that still remains incomplete according to the RAP, which is the Settlement Action Plan. In the meantime, feasibility study updates are underway and engagements with key stakeholders, including National Land Commission, are ongoing to unlock land-related bottlenecks. And the project is part of the some projects on the pipeline for under PPP framework. Honorable Speaker, in Dhosi Dam, which is a zoned also rockfill structure, 84 meters high and around 332 meters long, is expected to have a storage capacity of around 23 million cubic meters. The project is meant to do some irrigation, domestic consumption, and produce up to 5 megawatts of power. And the approximate cost is around 9 billion. The status is the project was advertised in 2023, and a PIP, privately initiated proposal by a level group company, was submitted by an investor for implementation and design build, finance, operate, maintain, and transfer model. Despite the progress, there have been delays that resulted from the complex due diligence processes that are associated with PIPs, particularly technical and financial analysis, appraisals, and also alignment with regulatory and fiscal frameworks. The land acquisition process, that is including RAP, has also not been finalized. And to mitigate these challenges, the ministry has reviewed and validated the submitted designs, initiated interagency coordination to fast-track evaluation, and this is also scheduled under the PPP project pipeline. Honorable Speaker, Dambana Dam, at the confluence of River Dambana and Rupingazi, is designed to be 40 meters high, storage capacity of around 27 million cubic meters, and is expected to supply water for domestic and also do some irrigation to around 24,000 acres and generate 1 megawatt of power at a cost of around 22 billion. Conceptual design was completed in 2023 by the ministry, and an expression of interest was again issued in August 2023, and accepted also the same month. However, the proponent did not submit the mandatory deposit fee required under the PPP regulations of 2022 for PIP proposals, prompting the ministry to initiate a fresh process. The second part of the question, Honorable Speaker, was to outline the measures in place to fast-track implementation of these dams construction projects and provide timelines. Honorable Speaker, Kamumu, Doshi, and the Mara Dams projects in Embu County, the ministry has put in place several mitigation measures aimed at resolving the outstanding issues. The measures reflect also our commitment to deliver the critical water infrastructure while maintaining transparency and aligning with the national planning framework. Kamumu Dam is currently being finalized through a cabinet memorandum for consideration and approval, and the memo seeks to secure high-level policy direction and unlock requisite financing to allow for prompt implementation. And in recognition of the time that has lapsed since the initial due diligence activities, the agency, which is Tana Waterworks Development Agency, has commenced the process of updating the due diligence report to ensure accuracy and relevance of the technical and financial documentation. On Doshi Dam, which has already been advertised and for which a PIP has been submitted, the ministry continues to engage with the PPP Directorate and the National Treasury to expedite the evaluation process and secure timely approvals. On Dambana Dam, following the proponent's failure to meet the mandatory deposit requirement under the PPP Act of the ministry has initiated a fresh procurement process. In the meantime, the project has been formally included in the fourth medium-term plan. Engagements are ongoing with other prospective investors who had previously expressed interest in the project. And Honorable Speaker, the exact construction timelines of these three key projects, as asked by the Honorable Senator, will depend on the conclusion of the outstanding procurement, financial, and other statutory processes. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I submit. Thank you.
Senator Mundigi, do you have any supplementary questions? If yes, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question to the Cabinet Secretary: is it possible for Cabinet Secretary to advise or to tell people of Embu County whether there is any money in this budget of 2025 for those three dams? Because Cabinet Secretary knows water is life and life is water. And about farming in Embu County, we are trying to motivate youth and others people for farming, and better south and better north. Animals are dying, people are dying because of lack of water. And about farming, we are farming mogoka, and the farmers, they cannot progress without water.
Honorable CS, you may respond.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for that question. as I've explained, is that the 3 dams are in the pipeline for the public-private partnerships, and the resources we have in the current financial budget, we have a small allocation, not specifically for those 3, for all dams that require review of appraisals, because to go to PPP, you need to have preliminary concept designs and to do project appraisals. So, Honorable Senator, Honorable Speaker, we have a small allocation for these kind of studies in the budget. Thank you.
Senator Kinyua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Cabinet Secretary, you remember for the World Water Celebration Day, you came to Tegethi, Matanya, and you launched a project, Tegethi Water Project. I'm just asking, how far is it now? Because when you came, you brought in pipes and other gadgets that are related to water, but immediately you left, the pipes followed you thereafter. Please, where is the status of that project? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Fernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mine is to find out the status of the construction. I know the design and of Keben Dam is to find out what is the status of the Keben Dam in Nandil sub-county, because we have waited too long, Mr. Speaker, for that project to take off, and whether there is availability of funds to construction and completion of Keben Dam in Nandil sub-county, Nandi County. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Chute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the CS was talking about concept note and also availability of funds. Honorable Speaker, the government, the Kenya Kwanza government promised 1,000 dams. And so far, I want to ask the CS, out of the 3 dams, he has gotten 0 out of 3. So that means even achieving the 1,000, it is going to be 0 out of 1,000. My question is, there is a sewer line in Marsabit, not completed up to today. I want to ask the CS, because you have already 0 out of 3. If I add Marsabit, it's going to be 0 out of 4. When are you going to complete that irrigation system in Marsabit town? And when are you going to visit Marsabit to tell the people of Marsabit when this project will be complete? Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Senator for Kilifi County, the Honorable Majaya.
Asante, Mheshimiwa Spika. Nataka kumuuliza waziri wa maji. Ni lini lile bwawa lililoko katika eneo bunge la Ganze linaitwa Rare Dam, ni lini lile bwawa litamalizwa kujengwa, na vile vile ili bwawa hilo liweze kusaidia wananchi walioko ndani ya Ganze constituency na Kilifi kwa ujumla? Kwa sababu wanawaziri, ni kama vile unavyoelewa kwamba nyakati fulani rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya Mheshimiwa William Ruto alikuwa maeneo bunge ya Ganze na akaenda katika ile eneo la huko Rare, mwenyewe akaliona na akaahidi ya kwamba hili bwawa la maji la Rare Dam litaweza kumalizwa ili kuweza kumaliza ukame ndani ya eneo bunge la Ganze. Ni lini mnapofikiria kwamba wewe kama waziri wa maji utaweza kufanya hiyo kazi ambayo rais mwenyewe aliweza kuahidi watu wa Ganze katika Kilifi County? Asante.
Senator Kisang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, mine is to the CS. I wanted to know the status of rehabilitation of Singora Dam, which is supposed to benefit the community and also Singora Girls High School.
Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At the B, the Cabinet Secretary has talked about PPPs, and I want to ask him, what's the success rate of these PPPs, and have you done any? What's the statistics? Have you done any successfully? Have you gotten any investor interested to work with your ministry to make sure that these dams succeed? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond. Before you respond, let's take just one question from Senator Kavinda. You may proceed, Honorable Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to know from the CS about Maruba Dam, where it is, and if there is any allocation this year, this financial year, to complete the work in Maruba Dam, which is very key in Machakos County, and especially Machakos Town, and Yatta Canal, Yatta Dam and Yatta Canal. What is the status? When is the completion of these 3 dams? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may now respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, for your questions. There was a question on Tigivi water project. I am aware of that project. If the Senator can allow me, Honorable Speaker, to give you a detailed status on that, I would really appreciate, because I know the finer details is required, especially on that kind of a small project of water supply. Please. The question by Senator Cheregei on Kebendam. Senator Cheregei, Kebendam is a key project in Nandi, and we have already advertised this dam under EPCF. Evaluation is ongoing. We already have a consultant who is doing this, and this is in the progress of taking shape. EPCF projects take time, especially in evaluation and procurement. There's a question by Honorable Chuchi on the 1,000 dams. And this is what I've explained, that the speed which we expected the uptake of PPPs in water, this also couples with the question from Honorable Manzo, has not taken off. However, we have done a diagnostic analysis on how to make water projects, especially high-intensive, capital-intensive infrastructure, feasible to the ministry. And this has been a challenge that we are working to resolve. Because, as I said, our cost recovery tariffs are not in place. The question on Masabit sewerage, I know that is ongoing and it has taken time, and that you're right. Allow me to give a detailed brief on the status of this. There's a question on Rare in Ganze. Ganze, I know the challenges we have of water in Kilifi County specifically, and this also couples up with the, because we share a common water resource from Baricho that comes to Kilifi, it also goes to Mombasa. This challenge will be resolved. Apart from doing the Rare small dam, when we complete the master plan in Mombasa of Moache, so that we stop the water that comes from Baricho at Kilifi, so that it is shared in Kilifi, Malindi, and Mtwapa. So, on Rare, I can give you a detailed brief exactly on the same. There is a question on that has really come to the attention of the ministry, and this has come more often to the ministry, on Maruba Dam, which is in Machakos. Maruba Dam is one of our national urban programs that we are running as a ministry. And the infrastructure has been done. The pending problem is land composition to the people of Maruba. And I answered that question again in this house because we're in the process of NLC, the National Land Commission. Those are the people who evaluate and give us the amount to be paid. So the allocation we require here from the ministry is, from the government, is to start paying these people in piecemeal. Your
Senator Fokelefe, you do not rise on a point of order again as the CS. So allow the CS to conclude. I will give directives on the issue you've raised about Rare. Proceed, Honorable CS.
And to confirm to Honorable Kavidu that because we don't have the entire money to pay the people of Maruba, we plan to acquire those pieces of land in piecemeal. First of all, you start with the sections where the actual works will be going, because the remaining section will be the impoundment area that will be flooded. Maruba and Muongoni, I am well aware of Maruba and Muongoni dams. So Maruba is already in existence. I am tying the two together, Senator.
Honorable Senators, allow the CS to respond. Allow the CS to respond. Yes, respond to the questions. Honorable Senator, when I'm speaking, you yield. You're out of order, Senator Kavindu. You're totally out of order.
Honorable Speaker, the issue of Maruba and the issue of Muongoni Dam are in the same vicinity. The water supply in Machakos right now is fed by Maruba Dam. Maruba Dam is, as we speak, is complete and in use. As we speak right now, it is complete and in use. So please, Honorable Speaker, Maruba Dam, as we speak, is complete and in use. The issue of Yatta is another dam under the PPP pipeline that I've already explained to the House. The question by Honorable Kipsang, especially on Singor Dam. Singor Dam is under Singor. It is under procurement as we speak. And also the question by Honorable Manzo on the status of PPPs and whether we have some that have taken place. We have some under irrigation, but on dams, we are not yet to secure any of them to completion. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Honorable Senators, if you look at the clock, we have long used the 15 minutes that we had allocated to this question. Now, Honorable CS, on Rare Dam and on the project in Marsabit, you've undertaken to provide a detailed response to these two questions.
Yes.
Do so in the next 7 days.
Thank you.
And the one that had been asked by the Senator for Tharaka Nithi, those three, file your detailed responses within the next 7 days.
Thank you.
Honorable CS, we have come to the conclusion of your session. You may leave at your pleasure.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, members.
Now, Honorable Senators, as we usher in the CS in charge of roads and transport, allow me to make this communication. I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this morning of visiting teachers and students from Thanze High School in Machakos County. The delegation comprises 1 teacher and 55 students who are in the Senate for a one-day academic exposition. Honorable Senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I will request the Senator for Machakos County under 1 minute to extend a word of welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to wish the teachers and the students from Machakos County a very welcome to the Senate and tell you that you're in the right place. You're now watching and seeing how we deliberate the issues. And I'm sure when you put your great efforts in your studies, some of you may end up in the Senate and others in many various places. May God bless you as you have your day at the Senate today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Clerk, kindly usher in the CS in charge of roads and transport. Welcome, Honorable CS. You have 9 questions to respond to this morning, and therefore this is my guidance as far as time management is concerned. We are going to spend not more than 15 minutes per question so that we cover all the 9 questions before 1 p.m. The first question is question number 69. By the Honorable Senator from Murang'a County, Senator John Yutu. You may now proceed to ask the question.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My questions to the CS is, A, why does the Kenya National Highways Authority, KENHA, use privately owned motor vehicles for patrol on highways? B, who owns these patrol vehicles and how are their services procured? And C, what plans does KENHA have to acquire its own patrol vehicles like other state corporations? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members of Senate. I'm happy to be here this morning to respond to the various questions. And let me respond to the question by Senator for Tharaka-Nithi, Senator sorry, is that?
Honorable CS, you're responding to question number 69. By the Senator from Murang'a County.
My paper, the person who has got my papers has been locked outside. Sorry about that, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Joe Nyoto, member, Senator from Murang'a County. And let me straight away go to the answer to the question on Kenya and the specific question, why does Kenya National Highways Authority use privately owned vehicles for patrol on highways? Who owns these patrol vehicles? And what plans does Kenya have to acquire its own patrol vehicles like other state corporations? Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to respond. The Kenya National Highways Authority, Kenya, utilizes privately owned motor vehicles as it outsources road maintenance works through performance-based contracts. Under these contracts, Honorable Speaker, members, particularly on critical roads such as Thika Road and the Nairobi Southern Bypass, the scope includes regular road patrols to monitor compliance with traffic regulations, rapid response to include to incidences and breakdowns, protection of road infrastructure including street lighting and guardrails, immediate assistance on motorists in distress. The arrangements, Honourable Members, Speaker, ensures efficient maintenance while enhancing overall road safety. And on the patrol vehicles that are owned, the patrol vehicles are owned by performance-based contractors who are basically assigned the contracts on the performance-based contracts. In terms of maintenance contractors who are competitively procured in compliance with the Public Procurement and Assets Disposal Act 2015 through the open tender method. Honourable members, on the final question, the authority does not intend to procure its own patrol vehicles for maintenance.
Though Kenya outsources its road maintenance services, it's not very clear from the response why Kenya officers would use privately owned motor vehicles, because this is not a road maintenance. So, and was there any cost-benefit analysis done before this particular decision was made? Because, of course, government needs to save resources. Are we saving by using privately owned motor vehicles? Because my understanding is that there's a difference between road maintenance and patrol. The question, Honorable CS, was about the patrol vehicles. Because again, you realize that if sometimes motorists do not even know who is stopping them, because these are privately owned motor vehicles. So I think we may need to see clarity on that. And I think that is the only question that I have. And it also touches on your response on C, because we need to know, is the cost-benefit analysis, has it shown that we are better off, we'll save state resources through privately owned motor vehicles and not motor vehicles owned by the corporation? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS.
I think to the extent, Honorable Speaker, let me offer some, to the extent of the periodic based contracts maintenance, there is clarity that, yes, we tender for maintenance of a particular road for a period of a year, 2 years, and therefore the contractor who wins to maintain that road through that competitive process therefore works like any other private contractor who is constructing any road out there, and they use their assets to maintain the road. To the extent of the Kenya staff inspecting the road and using their vehicle, that is an area where we need to get clarity, because Honorable Nyoto then would have a point to the extent that, yes, we should be inspecting the roads using Kenya vehicles, and yes, we have Kenya vehicles to maintain the roads, or to inspect the roads for that matter. And therefore, I can take up that to make sure there is clarity between periodic maintenance, which is a contract given out to a private contractor to maintain the road, and when it is the aspect of inspecting the road by Kenya staff, we'll then make sure we pay attention and confirm the concern raised by Senator Nyoto that we should have enough vehicles, if that is not the case, to inspect the works in the various roads. I thank you.
Senator Manzo.
Yes, does it not have a security bearing, and Mr. CS, is it not better for you to work in conjunction with the police if you have to utilize private hired vehicles, and is it not a collusion between yourselves and the private people so that they can make money out of Kenya?
Honorable CS, you may respond.
I think what I did indicate, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members, to the extent of a periodic maintenance contract, is a private contract like any contractor. You don't expect them to use Kenya vehicles. But to the extent of supervising and inspecting the works on the various roads, the Kenya staff does not in any way come in contact with the road users to the extent of really wanting to be discreet, because they would just be inspecting the works done by the periodic maintenance contractor. So if there has been a case where our staff in Kenya are not properly facilitated with their vehicles, that is a case which I said I will take it up, but it shouldn't really be a problem inspecting roads using Kenya's assets or using Kenya's vehicles, and I undertake to follow up that, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Nyoto. But to the extent of clarity, the periodic maintenance contract is a private contract which is done by the contractor who wins the maintenance contract for particular roads. But the concern raised by the Speaker, by Honorable Nyoto, I'll take up to the extent that there's a claim of lack of proper facilitation and staff could be inspecting the roads using their private vehicles. I thank you.
Honorable Senators, we'll now move to question number 70 by the Senator for Kilifi and the Minority Leader, the Honorable Stewart Mazayo. Honorable Senator, you may proceed to ask your question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask my friend, the Minister for Roads, some 2-3 questions. Mr. Minister, when will the Mombasa-Mtwapa Kilifi Road project, which is a key part of Northern Transit and Transport Corridor, be completed? Number 2, are there any plans to install lighting at the Kibarani Changamwe interchange in Mombasa County to enhance security and vision for motorists at night? Finally, when does the government plan to commence the construction of a second bridge linking Mombasa Island to the North Coast mainland to ease traffic congestion?
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Senator Mazayo. Let me straight away go to the answer. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to respond as follows. The Mombasa-Mtwapa Kilifi project is divided into 2 lots with different completion dates. The lot 1 is the Mombasa-Mtwapa, the bridge currently being constructed at Mtwapa town. And the project commenced in November 2022. Currently the progress is 42%. The project is expected to be completed by November 2026. Because Senator comes from that region and he understands the challenges we faced with that very narrow corridor between Mombasa and Mtwapa, and the challenge of land compensation coupled with the bending bills, I want to confirm that we have sorted out the bending bills issue through the funds we raised through selling our 7 shillings for securitization by a bankruptcy remote SPV, and therefore we are fully compensated, or we are fully compensating the residents, the project affected persons on that corridor. The compensation could be going on, but all the money has been released to the National Land Commission, and therefore the slowed project, including compensating the contractor for the bending bills, has been sorted out, and we should see very good progress going forward. On the second lot, Honorable Speaker, lot 2 starts from Mtwapa, that bridge in Mtwapa, all the way through Kadzengo, Kilifi, and the project commenced in December 2021. Currently, the progress is 64%. The works are expected to be completed by March 2026. The project experienced a delay due to challenges with land compensation equally, and like I said, the issues of compensation is a story of yesterday. We have sorted out the bending bills issue, and National Land Commission is currently in the process of compensating the project affected persons, and we'll be able to even finish that corridor through Mtwapa town. The current contract includes the installation of street lights from Makupa roundabout to Kwa Chomvu interchange. Implementation is scheduled to commence in June 2025, which is just about now. And on the third question, the ministry through Kura is undertaking a PPP project for the second Nyali Bridge, which is still at preliminary stage. But let me hasten to basically say, with the road infrastructure works going on in the coast region, we really need to finish that Nyali Bridge so that connectivity with the works that has been done in Mombasa, in Kwale and Kilifi can basically seamlessly connect that great city of Mombasa or the coast region. I thank you.
Honorable Mazayo, if you have any supplementary questions, you may proceed to ask.
I think I'm okay. No, I think
Senator Mazayo, do you have any supplementary question to ask?
I felt I haven't organized myself.
Okay, organize yourself as I give opportunity to your colleagues. We'll come back to you. Senator Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu za ujenzi wa barabara ya Mombasa Malindi, maeneo ya kutoka Kengeleni mpaka Mtwapa, kumekuwa na msongamano sana katika barabara hiyo. Hivyo basi magari mengi yanapita na Links Road kupitia Nyali ndio yatokee Bamburi Nyali Center yakielekea Kilifi na Malindi. Mheshimiwa Spika, barabara hii katika maeneo ya Quickmart imekuwa donda sugu kwa wakazi wa Mombasa na wakazi wa Kilifi. Kuna vidimbwi